i.e. sales. Um, Using video to achieve to your advantage in your business, ranking your videos on YouTube and Google, extending your reach using your videos, and taking full advantage of video on your site. Those are the things that we're going to be talking about tonight. I'm going to just touch briefly on the type of video, because often people will send me a video and they want it ranked in Google, they want it ranked in YouTube, and the video goes something like, this is the stuff I sell, buy it. And those videos never do very well on YouTube because people just go to YouTube for two simple reasons, either to learn or to be entertained. So just keep that in mind when you're making a YouTube video. You really want to teach somebody about your business or you want to entertain them. Also, your YouTube video should teach, as I just said, and then your website should actually sell. So you always want to get people back to your website. That's your main goal, is to get the people to your website. So keep that in mind as well when you do your video. Also, focus only on one keyword for each video. Keyword research is a whole area onto itself, but I'm sure most people who own a business know exactly what they would like people to find their business under. So one video, one keyword. If you're in real estate and you want to sell duplex, make sure you duplex in Vancouver, be a great keyword. Focus on that one keyword. Have a script. Most people who do videos are just doing it off the cuff often, and it just doesn't come off well. It doesn't come off professional. You have 8 to 10 seconds for people to stay with you, to get them to listen to you, or they drop off. That's the drop-off point on YouTube, is 8 to 10 seconds. So just keep that in mind. If you start a video saying, well, you know, I can get a lot of stuff accomplished if you just listen to me, right, I'm gone. So just make sure you hook your customer right away by telling them what they're going to be getting from your video in the first 8 seconds. I will show you how to sell your house in 10 days or less. I have a great average at this. Boom, you've got my attention. I'll listen to the rest of your video. Then you can tell me the story on how to do it. But if you could begin with the story, most of the people will just go away. Always have a call of action too in your video. Sorry about that. Always have a call to action in your video. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube, and there's actually nothing ever said about coming to visit my website, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment. These are all call to actions. So just make sure that you have at least one call to action in your video. That's all I'm going to touch upon on how to do your video, because I'm not a videographer. It's just a lot of things that I see that people do videos for and never accomplish, actually. They just don't get those points across, and your videos never become very popular. Google and YouTube. So most people have a Gmail account, and when you open a Gmail account, you actually open many accounts all simultaneously. You'll open a Google Alerts account, a Google Analytics account, a Google Doc account, a Google Plus account, a Pixia account, a Google Talk account, a Google Webmaster Tool account, a YouTube account. All this is accomplished by opening a Gmail account. So as soon as you open a Gmail account, you have all these accounts open for you. The ones that we're going to be touching upon today for YouTube will be your Google Plus account, your Google Webmaster Tool account, and your YouTube account itself. So you have your Gmail account, and you go to Google, and you'll see in the corner how to log into your Plus account. This is created automatically when you open your Gmail account. You simply click on, in this case here would be the plus code, and you'll go to your Google Plus account. This is obviously not my Google Plus account, but you'll end up to this page. You'll want to create a page. So simply go to the menu, create a page, and you can create as many pages as you want. You can, so even under your own personal name, Gmail account, you'll open a page under your business, because a Google page can be transferred to another owner. Therefore, if you ever sell your business, you want to pass on your business, you can actually move your Google Page account to somebody else and they would receive that business page. So you want to open a business page on your Google Plus account. For every page that you open, you can have a YouTube account to promote that page. So you can open 10 pages and you can actually have 10 YouTube accounts. Also, the avatar that you upload in your Google page will be the avatar shown on YouTube. So in this case here, you'll see one is the airbrush kit supplies and the other one's photography. Those are actually the little icons that will show up in YouTube when I open a YouTube account under this page. When I go to YouTube, you'll see that I can go to Video Manager at the top there, and then you just simply click Switch Accounts, and I have an account for every page that I've created. So I can open a YouTube account for every page. When I go into that specific YouTube account, to rank for ranking factors, you'll want to add a YouTube description. So you'll have a description in your channel. You want to add channel art, and you'll want to add web links, your business, your Facebook account, your Google Plus account, and your Twitter account. So as soon as you log into your YouTube account, you'll actually notice this little drop-down menu here in the corner, and you'll just click on the one, and this is the one for channel art. You simply upload channel art. You'll see the top when somebody's taken advantage of their channel. You'll see that the icon they've used is actually the icon of their logo. They also use the entire banner area to have a phone number, and then also a 30-day free trial, and also a big green arrow pointing to their website link, so that when you're on that person's YouTube channel, you have a very clear understanding of you can go here to get a free 30-day free trial. Where the bottom one, this is Matt Cutts. I don't know if anybody is a geek like me and knows Matt Cutts. But anyways, this is his YouTube channel, and you'll see he's got no channel art, but he does have his website and his Twitter and Google Plus account there at the bottom. So it's also the description one. When you click on the description, it'll take you to this page. This is where you're going to add an entire description to your YouTube account. Make this a minimum of 500 words. You really want Google to understand what your business does and what you're all about. Use the keyword, your main keyword. If you're real estate Vancouver, you'll want to put real estate Vancouver in that description a good 5 times. 1% keyword density, as they would call it, is a good density for YouTube. We found that to be the most beneficial, is a 1% keyword density. The next step would be to add your website. This here will be the little link that you're going to get in the top banner. In the top banner. So you'll add your website, and then the next one would be all your social properties. You simply add a social property. There's a little drop-down menu, and you can add Facebook, Google Plus, Twitter, so on and so forth, and all those social properties will now be linked to your YouTube account. It just simply gives more of a trust factor in the search engines when they see that it's a real person behind the YouTube channel, because now they can follow, this person has a Facebook account, this person does have a Twitter account, it's just builds trust. And that's really what Google, SEO Google 2014 is becoming more and more about a trust factor. They want to make sure there's a real person behind every website. The next step is you simply click on Video Manager at the top, and this will bring you to a little side menu, and you'll see the feature. You'll want to verify your YouTube account, and there's a very distinct, how can I say it? A very good reason why you want to verify your YouTube account, which we're going to go into a little later, but it's simply click the verify button. They'll send you a text message. You simply have to enter that text message, and then you click the verify button. It'll bring you to a page where you enter the little 6-digit number and you click verify and your account will get verified. Or you can also get them to call you and the phone will ring automatically. Instantly, they'll give you a number, and again, you just enter that 6-digit number and you verify your account. Once your account's verified, you're going to see under the Features tab, here there was only one other, which is default, but now under the Features tab, you have Monetize, Defaults, In-Video Programming, and Advanced. They give you more features once you're verified. You'll want to go to the Advanced tab. Under the Advanced tab, you will see a associated website. This is where just 4 months ago, Google has agreed to let everybody become an associated website with YouTube, which this was not a possibility before. And what happens once you put your website name in that associated website, right now I've already done it, so it says success and remove myself from an associated website. But when you're not verified yet, you'll put your website there and there'll be a button beside there that just says associate this website. When you click it, it'll actually take you to your Google Webmasters account. The Google Webmasters account will you'll just automatically go to your Webmasters account because you've never signed out of your Gmail and all the accounts are all associated together. I hope that makes sense for everybody. So now that you're at your Google Webmaster account, if you've never verified your website with Google Webmasters, they'll ask you to verify your they'll ask you to verify your website. Verify your website. You simply verify the website. This will make Google understand that your YouTube account, your website, your Webmaster account are all linked together. You just click Add Site. A little pop-up window will come up, add your site, and you can verify your website. You'll just step through the processes that they ask you to do. Now, why did we want to do all that? Because now we can actually take advantage of a brand new feature that just was presented about 4 months ago in YouTube, where you can go to annotations. If you upload a video, this is a video that I've uploaded, you can go to annotations. At the bottom there, you'll see the annotation button. You can actually click on Spotlight, put a little box around any area of the video that you want, and because you're an associated website, you can say link that little, whenever somebody clicks inside that little box, which is going to be invisible, but anybody that clicks inside of there, send them directly to my website. So people watching videos on YouTube can actually click inside the video and go directly to your website. Also, if anybody actually embeds your video into their website, that stays there. So you can actually get traffic from other people's website who have embedded your video coming to your website because they can click that box. In this person's video, we've actually put a big click here button that we had the videographer just put that there, and we put a little light box around the click here, and during the entire presentation he actually points to the click here button, and we're sending people directly to his website through the YouTube video. So video SEO. Once that's all done, you'll want to get your video in as many places as you want, and you'll also want to be ranking your video on Google. One of the things that Google looks at for video for ranking factors is the actual file name. So if I wanted to rank for video SEO, I would call my video SEO.mp4. Believe it or not, that file name does make a difference. It's been shown and we've also tested it. It does make a difference. So name your video, whatever your keyword will be. Next, when you upload a video, they always ask you for a title. Be certain to put your keyword in the title of the description, the title of the video. Then you'll want to actually make a description of your video. And I see a lot of videos on YouTube who actually don't put a link to their website in their description. always put a link in the website of the description of your, always put a link to your website in the description. You'll have to put the HTTP semicolons / and your entire website address, and it becomes a hyperlink in the description. There's a lot of people who actually realize that there's a link in that description and they do scroll below the video and click on it, especially if you use a call to action in your video. Tell people, point down, go click the link to visit us or get more tips, so on and so forth. Or if you've become a YouTube associated website, you can actually have the link right inside your video, which is much better. But I would always use both. Then the description, actually 500 words, again with a 1% keyword density has always worked best for us. Also, just a moment. Still good.
Just while you're having a quick drink there, Claude,
Sorry about that.
Question came through. What does a 1% keyword density mean? You've referred to it a couple times.
Sure, sorry. If I write an article with 500 words, I would put my keyword 5 times into it. So if the keyword that I'm targeting is real estate Vancouver, you're going to write an article that's 500 words long, put real estate Vancouver at least 5 times in that article. So you're at 1% of the words in your article, or 1% is your keyword that you're actually targeting.
Now, the fact that there's 2 words in that keyword doesn't matter?
It's the sentence, sorry. It's the keyword can be an entire sentence. If you're targeting Vancouver duplex for sale, then that becomes your keyword. That entire sentence becomes your keyword, and you'll want that entire sentence 5 times in that article at least, if it's 500 words. Yes, okay. So that entire sentence is your keyword.
Okay, great. Perfect.
Okay. So also make sure that your URL is always at least in the first 3 lines of your article that you've written, because you don't want anybody having to click the dreaded show more before they can see your link. So just make sure it's in that top 3 lines of your article. Put your URL in there. In this case here, it's the very first thing that they did. That's perfect. The next thing is the tags. Now YouTube used to show the tags that people used, and people would just take those tags and use them again. And it was pretty powerful actually, because it does help the ranking factor. So to a point where YouTube actually took away so that people can't see the tags that your competition's using. So if you were trying to rank again for Vancouver movers, and you looked at that whoever's video was on number 1, you looked at their tags and you repeated those tags, your video would actually rank pretty well. So they took away that, but of course we're more sophisticated than that, so we can still see the tags. We simply go to the video that in this case here, I put video SEO, or I think I put mobile websites, and this was the number 1 video for mobile websites. So I want to know the tags that they've used for this video. So in Internet Explorer, you can right-click and say View Source. In Chrome, it's at the top bar. You'll see View and then Edit Tools, and then you can view the source code. I don't know if anybody's ever view the source code of a website, but this is what it looks like. If you just right-click Explorer, you can say View Source, and of course on Chrome it's at the top under Developer Tools. You can view source. You'll also see in View Source, it'll say Meta Keywords, and the Meta Keywords, I have it highlighted there. It's always about the 3rd row down in YouTube, and you can actually see the keywords, the tags that this person's used, which is mobile website, mobile marketing, mobile website, mobile website designs. So you can actually look at the first 3 videos in YouTube and get a really good sense of the tags that people are using and you can simply repeat those tags to move your video up in that category. Also, another thing that I haven't seen anybody use this except a couple of people in the SEO field that I talked to. It's a little trick that we found. If you look at the video, the #1 video on YouTube, you know he's getting the most traffic because he's the #1 for that keyword. You put his username, which in this here is send via text. Take his username, use that as one of your tags, and 85% to 83% of the time you'll show up in the sidebar right in YouTube under his video. So somebody's watching his video, you know, just like everybody else in YouTube, they go to the sidebar and they always watch at least 3-4 more videos on that subject. You use his username, you'll use 85% of the time you'll show up in that sidebar, and you'll get some traffic from whoever's watching the #1 video will also watch your video because you'll be in the sidebar there. It's a little trick that I don't know if YouTube has caught on to yet, but while they haven't caught on to it, I might as well use it. So next thing on video SEO is closed caption. Closed caption, you simply click that button at the bottom and it'll bring you to this screen, and it's simply an everything you say on your video is written out. And you'll see it often on some videos, you'll have the closed caption titles at the bottom as somebody speaking. This helps for SEO purposes because now Google knows exactly what that video is completely about because it has all the wording that you just said. Now, I'm not one to type out everything I said on a video, so you can just go to a place like speakertext.com. They ask you for the URL to the video. You simply plug that in and they charge you $2 a minute. They give it back to you in a text file, and then you plug it into your closed caption and you just hit save, and that'll be done. The other things that help rank a video, of course, is how many likes you have, how many subscribers, how many comments, and how many views. These are all things that you can't influence too much, but you can influence it by asking people to subscribe to your channel. I always put out a few more tips every 5 days or every week. Subscribe to my channel so you know when my new videos come out. People will subscribe. Also, comments, you can encourage comments easily in your video simply by asking people to comment. This is what I think, what do you think? Leave a comment, and people will always comment when you actually say it in your video. The more comments you have, the more engagement you have, the higher your video will rank. Now, taking full advantage of your video on your site. We all know that video can increase sales, but here's what most website owners don't take advantage of. When people share the content on your video, share the content on your website, hit the share button. Many websites have the share button, have the tweet button, but what's sent to Facebook? If somebody hits the share button on your website and on Facebook it's only the title and you're not actually sharing the video, you're losing a big percentage of your audience. You've paid good money or you've worked hard to get your video. You want, when people hit that share button, for it to be shared on the social media. To do that, you need something called Open Graph. If you ever hear somebody talk about Open Graph, that's what it is. It's simply a little piece of coding that goes in the back of your website saying whenever somebody hits the share button, send this information to Google+, send it to LinkedIn, send it to Facebook. It's what you want the social media platforms to grab from your website and put on those social media platforms. I know it looks complicated right now, but you'll see at the top that the Open Graph doesn't have the video sharing in it, and the one at the bottom does have the video sharing in it. So you want your website to have video sharing capabilities in Open Graph. That sounds a little technical, but if you do have somebody building your website or somebody who has done a video for you, ask them about Open Graph. Make sure that they understand that you want that in your website so that when people share your content, your video gets shared. Also, another thing that actually many website owners don't take advantage of is the video thumbnail. To get a video thumbnail, many you will increase the click-through rate, and you don't have to be YouTube or Blip TV or Metacafe to have that thumbnail. Every website is allowed to have that video thumbnail under their website, and that's another thing that people don't take advantage of, and it really does increase the click-through rate. So if you have a video on your website, make sure that you have the correct coding in there so that the video gets shared with a little thumbnail in your, and I'm about to show you how to do that, or you'll actually know how to do it yourself, but you'll also be more knowledgeable if you get somebody to do it for you. And the way that the thumbnail is shared is because your website now has an XML video sitemap. That's what tells Google, hey, there's a video on this page. I want you to put this picture thumbnail beside the description so it looks like this, not just a description. You need a XML video sitemap for your website. We'll be adding, for WordPress users, it's a lot easier to do that. So what we want is the open graph, and we want the XML map so that people share our videos and the thumbnails show up in the listings in Google. So we'll be adding 2 plugins to the WordPress. The 2 WordPress plugins, you'll add Yoast WordPress SEO, which is free, and then Yoast Video SEO, which is $69. I tried to find one that was free, but I just could not find one that did the job that the Yoast one does. And to tell you the truth, $69 is well worth it. If you've got a $1,000 video, pay the $69 so that you get that thumbnail. The combination of the two will create your open graph meta tags and your XML sitemap. When you add those 2 plugins to WordPress, and if you're not familiar with the terminology, I apologize. It's simply a little script that you add in WordPress, a plugin, and that will give you the SEO sidebar in the back end of your WordPress. When you click on that, you'll see the drop-down menu, and you'll see the XML sitemap. That'll take you to another page, and you can see at the bottom there with the arrow, it'll say XML sitemap. You get that gray button. It's in the bottom corner there. You simply click on that, and that'll bring you to the XML sitemap that these 2 plugins, the combination of these 2 plugins, have just created for you. You just grab that URL and head back to your Google Webmasters account. In your Google Webmasters account, there is an Add Sitemap button under the Sitemaps in the side menu. And if the sitemap's never been added, it'll actually just be a blank, and you'll just add the URL, and you'll click enter that URL. That'll tell Google, go check out my sitemap. I have all my XML sitemaps all set for you. Crawl everything, look at my videos, index my videos. That way there, you'll get the thumbnails, you'll get the share buttons, and everything will be just as we described and as we looked at. Is there any other questions, Mark, right now, or are we still good?
Whoa, that's a lot of information, Claude. I'm frantically scribbling notes and plugins and all that sort of stuff. This is great content.
I hope that's why we video this. I know I'm going through it quickly, but hopefully this will be up and it'll be videoed so people can actually look at it a couple of times. If I do have a little bit more time, I can go through a few other things that we can do. I did prepare a few more slides, but I just didn't know where our time limit would be. So if you want, I can continue right now.
Absolutely. We did have one question asking if we could go over the annotating the URL with the YouTube again. But again, this has been recorded, folks, so you can go back and review it. I'm going to encode it at the end of the webinar to be posted up by tomorrow morning. You'll be able to see it on the hot sheet. So in the intro, because we do have a lot of folks online, why don't we just keep going, Claude? This is great content.
And the annotation is absolutely a great way to get people to your website. I mean, you can do so much with that, and it's a brand new feature that Google just introduced to everybody 4 months ago or so. And I've seen almost nobody taking advantage of it simply because they don't know the steps or the process to do it. And having a button inside your video, I mean, the annotations actually, you can make an annotation that just has wording,
Yeah.
so you can actually make an annotation of just the wording, then take the spotlight, put the spotlight annotation over that wording and link the spotlight. So in the wording, you could say, visit my website now for more tips, or visit my website now for a 15% discount, and make that URL go to a 15% discount on your website.
Now,
So people will click. Yep.
yeah, no, that example you had with the click here button, is that you can actually put a graphic in there, so you can overlay a graphic, or has that got to be in the video itself?
The graphic that we did right now was in the video itself. We simply overlaid a graphic
Okay.
in the video, but you can do an annotation with wording and then do the spotlight over the wording.
Yeah, I mean,
But
having a big orange button in the top right of your video.
yeah, it's fantastic. And also, if people, I I encourage people to steal my content all the time. I love it when people steal my content because it'll end up on somebody else's website. But before, nobody would take the YouTube description, so you didn't have a link there going to your website. But now, if they take your content and put it on their website, there's no way getting around having that big orange button that people can click on and end up to your website. So it's a great thing that YouTube has introduced to everybody. So it's definitely something you should investigate or look at, or have your video person look at. If they don't know anything about it, tell them to get educated on it, because it's definitely a big part of the marketing aspect.
Find a new video person. Okay,
Okay,
let's carry on. Perfect.
extending your reach using your video. Remarketing YouTube videos with AdWords. Not many people know this, but you can actually go into your YouTube AdWords account, or if you have somebody doing AdWords for you, and somebody has watched your video, you can cookie those people. And the people who have actually watched your video, you can advertise to just them. So when they surf other websites that has Google AdWords, they'll start seeing your ads pop up all the time, and you look extremely large. You look like you have an extremely large budget to spend on advertising, but actually it's only being shown to the person that actually watched your video. So it's a good way to make yourself look bigger. If you have a winning video and you know that person's interested in your product because they've watched your video, now you can advertise to them. Your budget's not very expensive because the amount of people who've watched your video is limited, but those people who have watched it will see your ads. Also, since you have a video, you might as well upload it to Vimeo, Dailymotion, Metacafe, and Flickr. Those are the other 4 video platforms that we've had success with. The other ones, there's a dozen of them. We just don't see any effects from them. Those are really the bigger ones. The only one is Vimeo. Vimeo is if you're a commercial place, they ask you to open a commercial account, which there's like a $200 cost to it. So Vimeo is on and off for a lot of people, but the other 3 are very good and they're free. Also, advertising. I mean, you can get advertising done on YouTube. You can be advertised. Beyond is and Virule are simply they're 2 places that you can take your video, upload it to them, and you pay them just for, it's a cost per view. They'll put them on hundreds of websites, and you say, I'll pay 5 cents every time somebody watches my video. That's just a way to advertise your video. If you have a winning video and your video is really working well, this is something that you can look at. Okay, off-page SEO. We went through video SEO, but everything we were doing was while we were on YouTube. There's also ways to increase your video's rankings off-page SEO, as they call it, which means you're not doing anything while you're on YouTube, you're actually doing it off of YouTube. Every YouTube user has an RSS feed. And you simply go to that big long URL where it says username. You actually put your username. You click on that URL and it'll show you your RSS feed. You can take that RSS feed, and I go to Fiverr and I tell somebody to submit that RSS feed to a bunch of aggregators. So it gives me a bunch of backlinks going to my YouTube video. This guy here will submit your RSS feed to 175 sites in directories for $5. So that gives me 175 backlinks to my video. Another thing you can do is articles. You can have people write a couple of articles about your video. I go iWriter. It doesn't have to be a fancy article. I think they're charging $3 to $4 for a 500-word article. Don't expect a Pulitzer Prize. Like, you don't expect a beautiful article, but it'll be good enough so that you can do the next step, which is taking the article simply and going to Fiverr and getting somebody to submit that article pointing back to your YouTube video. You don't want to take that article and point it to your website. If you point that article to your website, it's just not high quality backlinks, but the YouTube account is a nice high quality backlink to your website, and you want to rank that video. It's using YouTube as a buffer site, using YouTube to throw a bunch of less, I don't want to say crappy, but less powerful links. You're throwing them all at YouTube, and YouTube becomes stronger, and the one link pointing back to your website from YouTube becomes a very strong link. You simply get that article, get somebody to submit that article to 2,000 article sites, get 250 plus live backlinks for $5. You know, it's just more backlinks to your video. Social seeding, this is simply getting people to share your video. I mean, ask people to share it, get people to share it, ask your friends. Actually, I think Rapid Time Networks has a little thing with Twitter, right? If I'm wrong or right, maybe we could ask a Rapid Time Network to maybe share our business video on their Twitter accounts.
You can rapidcast it.
Definitely
sure.
do some good for it. It would show that there's there's ways of just getting people to just share your video, and then when Google sees that your video is being shared on social networks, that will definitely help its rankings. We've seen some really good improvements with this type of interaction that you get. The next step, if you have a really good winning video and you want to promote it strongly, you can always do a press release, use a press release service that actually embeds the video in your press release. A web press release is simply an article about the business which they embed your video into. This is the most expensive next step. Like, if you have a really good winning video, it's worth it. If not, I would not go through that process. But you are looking at, from $150 to $300 for a press release. So that one there is the most expensive way of creating some popularity for your video and to get it ranking higher. Sorry about that. And that is about it. I know the end part is actually kind of complex for a business owner every day, but just to know exactly what an SEO person would be doing to your website to get it to rank could probably help other people understand the costs and the methods that go behind ranking a YouTube video.
That's fantastic stuff, Claude. I mean, it is one of those things that, I pride myself in being a little bit of a geek, but there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know, and a lot of people said, "Whoa, oh, can you go a little bit slower? Can you redo that?" This has been recorded, and you can go back and review it. And I would suggest having two monitors and be doing stuff on one monitor and playing it on the other, and hit pause lots of times. But this will be posted to the hot sheet. You'll see it at the bottom of the page on rapidtimenetworks.com. And this that Claude has up on screen right now is how you do the annotations. So we did have a couple questions on that. But if this has been totally and utterly overwhelming, I think Claude makes a very, very good point here. This is what the SEO guys are doing. So if you have the ability to wade through and do some of this stuff yourself, then by all means do that. But if your time is and your expertise lie elsewhere, we've got several people online. How much for just a one-on-one consultation, Claude, for an hour?
The consultations are actually free. We
No.
always Oh yeah, we've always talked to people and look at their businesses and see if actually sometimes we'll even tell people, your business right now, this isn't the ideal thing for it. Or sometimes it's like, wow, I can't believe you haven't been taking advantage of this. It depends really on the business, and the consultations have always been free.
That's fantastic. So, best way to get a hold of you, you can either just go to rapidtimenetworks.com and submit a lead just as you would anywhere else, or you fire an email through to Claude. What's your email address, Claude? Or Twitter?
Yeah, it's Claude at IE Sales. So I'll just go back to, actually, I don't think
I
yeah,
didn't see it on
yeah,
there.
just Claude at iesales.com. So if anybody wants to shoot me an email, Claude at iesales.com, you're more than welcome.
And make sure you submit the lead. And if Business Results Cloud does have an offer on the network to pay a percentage back to it, I know I see commissions coming through all the time from happy customers. So that's great to see. Well done, guys. I really do. We really do appreciate the great work you're doing for folks. So zip through that annotation thing one more time, because we do have a number of people were very intrigued
Sure.
by that, and that's a great feature. Chang Han, who's our community partner in Burnaby, did a great piece on website design and content and all that sort of stuff, talking about the Bob, the big orange button, which is apparently the color that people click the most, and it should be top right. So when you're putting your video, have a big orange button, click here, built into the video, or point people towards a hyperlinked site. So maybe just walk through that real quickly again for us, Claude.
Sure. Just having that same problem again here. Trying to get my screen full size, but for some reason. Anyhow, I don't know why it's not doing.
Did play work last time or not?
Yeah,
Just under the green button, is that play?
there you
There
go.
we go.
There we go. Annotations.
Great content, Cloud. I mean, I've got a ton of notes here, and I will be going through, review it again. That annotation thing's great.
Okay, for the annotations, you'll have to verify your account. So you want to go to features, verify it, get a text or a call, get that 6-digit number, and verify your account. It's pretty straightforward. When you click that verify, they take you through the steps. Once you have that done, you'll simply get a few other areas underneath that features tab. As you see right now, it's just defaults right now, and as soon as I'm verified, I get the other features. I go to the advanced tab and I add my site that I want to be associated with my YouTube account. And instead of remove, it will say verify your site when you put that in first. So you'll click the verify and it'll bring you to the Google Webmasters directly. If your site's never been verified with Google Webmaster, they'll want you to verify your site with Google Webmaster, step through the processes, get your website verified. Now they know that it's all interconnected, that at that point you'll be able to go here, click on the annotation button at the bottom of your video that you've uploaded.
Just
go
next
to
to me, little
annotation,
note. Yeah.
go to annotations and click on the spotlight. I like using the spotlight. It's simply really nice to make a nice big box around whatever item you want people to be able to click on. Just click a link, like say that you want that light box to go to a link.
Oh, that's why you've got to associate the website. You've got to, okay, great.
Yes, because if your site is not an associate of your YouTube channel, the only way you'll be able to link anything in the Lightbox is linking it within YouTube. So you'll be able to make a Lightbox, but actually just link it to another one of your videos, or link it to your channel, or link it to somebody else's video. You won't be able to link outside of YouTube. But once your website
you couldn't put a link to a PayPal button. You would have to go to your website to a PayPal button.
Yes, yeah. It has to be you have to have access to the website that you're going to
Right.
link out to.
No, that's good because if you got a buy now, it's going to go to your website to a buy now, the buy now button there.
Correct. You just let people know the steps that they're going to have to take
Great.
in your video. People always never leave people looking at something that they're not expecting. Tell them, click here, go to my website, and you'll see the entire description of what you can buy, and you can click that big buy now button at the bottom of my page and get one of whatever you're selling on YouTube. But just give people exactly the steps. The sales process, as I know a lot of people know, is simply tell people what you have, tell them what it'll do for you, and then tell them how to get it. And tell them how
Sounds
to get
simple.
it.
Sounds
You
simple.
know, tell them how to get it is the one thing on YouTube that so many people miss. They have no way of getting to the website. You have no way of getting there. Tell people how to get whatever it is you're selling.
And
It's a
that's
definite
great advice on putting the website with the HTTP in the front line of the description as well. That's great. And so it's not
yes.
below the fold on your description.
Yeah, absolutely. In the description, you want within the first 3 lines, you want the HTTP your website because you don't
And
want to get
certainly front and center the way they've got it there is I think that's great. Some great tips as well, just in terms of using their name in the tags as well. That's great.
also their phone number in the thought. This one, not this one, but this one here. They have their phone. We put their phone number in the description. So above the fold, above that see more, so people can go to the website by clicking, or they can call right away
That's
in the
great.
description.
That's great advice because you a lot of times the call to action is just give me a phone call. Take it offline.
Yeah, exactly. Just tell that last, like I said, that last part, tell people how to get it, is often missing out of YouTube.
That's fantastic. A couple of other questions came through. Sally had asked on the plugin, is that $69 a one-time fee? And yes, it is. Once you've bought it,
Yes,
you've got it. Now, do you have to do that? It's once you've bought that, can you put that plugin on other sites, or is that per site?
there. The Yoast plugin is $69 per site, and then they have like a multi-site, which is like I think $130 for 5 sites, and then they have a developers one, which is like $300 on as many sites as you want.
Okay,
So
so
sometimes it helps, like if you go to a video or an SEO person that has the developer rights to a lot of these plugins, sometimes it comes out cheaper than you doing it yourself. Because I have the developer's rights to a plugin, I may just charge a certain amount, and I'm installing my plugin because I have the developer's rights to it. So you have to weigh your
that could pay for some consulting,
whatever.
Chloe. That could pay for some consulting. Now, question for you: If does having the video thumbnail rank you better on the Google front page, and it must rank you better on the videos when you're going Google's images videos?
What happens is Google's now measuring how many people click on your listing. So even if you're like position 8, you're not in position 1, but you're the only person that has a thumbnail of a video, a lot more people will start clicking on your position 8, and that will raise you through the rankings because Google will actually measure those metrics and say, this website's got to have something way more relevant to this search because we're sending 1,000 people, and less people are clicking on position 1, 2, and 3, and they're going to position 8 to click. Therefore, this site must be more relevant. They'll move you up. But it won't be instant. It'll just be because you're getting a higher click-through rate than other people.
And I think here's where rapid time networks can certainly come into it. And you mentioned it during the presentation. We do have the ability to put stuff out to our network and their extended networks using our RapidCast system. So, ask if you want to get people clicking your video, if you want to get people clicking on your blog, can really, connect with the network.
Also,
Plug into what we're doing because it can certainly give you some quality link backs.
Also, Mark, I don't know. I know this is well, it's on topic, but for Rapid Time Network, I know there's a lot of people out there in Rapid Time Network. YouTube actually has a GoToWebinar service type of thing where they call it YouTube Livecast. And the only stipulation is that you have 1,000 subscribers. Once you have 1,000 subscribers, you can do free webinars through YouTube. And the beauty of that is that you can actually start the webinar maybe 3-4 minutes before the webinar starts. You grab the embed code, you put the embed code on your website, and now when people have to attend the webinar, they actually are going to your website to watch the webinar. Anyways, that's a new
You're
feature that Google.
totally geeking me out now. We have to talk.
Yeah, that's a new feature that Google just introduced maybe 2 months ago, but it's a free service if you have 1,000 subscribers. So if your account is verified and you get 1,000 subscribers, you can actually do a webinar on your own website for free through YouTube.
Cool. Okay, we're definitely following up, Claude. So if there's any last questions, fire them through. That's absolutely fantastic, Claude. I think we've answered most of the questions that came through. Please do submit a lead. And I think, just to sort of sum up, I mean, Claude, I think you did an absolutely fantastic job. And really, this is an absolutely perfect example of givers getting. You gave some absolutely phenomenal information. I learned an absolute ton, as I know everybody on the call tonight has. And it really does, show off the expertise that you have. You've given away some great information, but it's going to spark a whole load of conversations for you. I absolutely know that. In just the same way, so many of the great presentations that we've had in the past. So if you do want to connect with Claude at IE Sales, email Claude at iesales.com or submit the lead through. We'll make the connection. If business gets done, there's some commission coming back to you. If you know somebody who's likewise struggling with their SEO, this is one small component of what Claude and Danny can do. And it just shows you, gives you a little glimpse sort of in the back door of what's going on with the SEO guys, how much is involved, and where the real value comes. If you don't know this stuff, and this is just one small piece, and like Claude has said in previous presentations, there's about 200 other things that they can do to get you ranking, get you found online. So I'd strongly encourage you to have the conversation. You'll see Claude and Danny, they're regulars out on the network. You'll see them RSVPing on Meetup. So arrange to meet them in and around one of the RTN meetings, and the next, so easy to catch up with them. We're so transparent with everything that's going on at Rapid Time Networks.